Why do interior designers charge so much, and what are the factors they include to determine their fees? Would you like to know if the designer has quoted you a fair amount, or if he's asking additional charges which are applicable are fair or not? Hi, this is Riddhi Rathod, and I'm going to explain you 7 factors that interior designers consider. Your individual needs and preferences is what an interior designer considers before quoting her fees. What is it that you want out of the project, and what kind of look determines the amount of hard work a designer needs to do. So it is a very important factor here. Second is budget, and according to the budget, the designer decides what kind of materials might be used, where he is going to source the furniture. For example, if it's a low budget project, he can probably get a furniture online, which is very easy for him to do, whereas if we have a high-end project, we might have to source materials which are hard to find, or customize and design it on site, which is more effort on the designer's side. Again, the brand and the quality of materials used also make a difference in the project. There are certain brands which might not be available locally. He might have to go out of the area and source those materials, which is again going to be an extra effort on their end. The next one is the type of deal you do, design plus execution or turnkey. In a design plus execution, the designers charge a separate fee which include only their design bit, whereas in a turnkey project, the fees are included in the overall cost of the project and they would not charge an extra fee for the design. The portfolio of the designer also plays a very important role. The designer you've hired, if he's an experienced designer, he will charge accordingly for the expertise he has, whereas an inexperienced designer might work for half the fees for the same amount of work as he wants to build his portfolio. So the last point is the size of the space. The size of the space is directly proportionate to the amount of work expected. Hence, higher the size, higher the costs for the design. Now that we've understood the factors which directly affect the designer's fees, it is best to understand also additional costs which might involve in the process. 3D views. For three-dimensional views, some designers might include this service as a part of their fees if they have an in-house person to make those views. Whereas if a person is outsourcing the service, he might charge extra apart from his fees, which could be anywhere around 4,000 to 6,000 rupees per view. Site visit charges. In a lump sum prefixed fee, there might be a certain amount of site visits which are included in the fee. Whereas if it goes beyond that number, the designer might charge you for the extra visits as per 1,500 to 5,000 per visit. This totally depends on the kind of agreement you've had with the designer. Charges for revisions. So the designer might include maybe 3 or 4 revisions you might want in any design, but if you want something very completely different and you have multiple revisions coming along, anything more than that would be chargeable. So check with your designer first what is included in the fees quoted. Site supervision cost. If you want somebody to be there on site all the time to supervise your contractors, the designer might hire a site supervisor, which you will probably need to pay for. This usually works for a large scale project or outstation projects. With all this said and done, when the fees are ascertained and agreed upon between the client and the designer, it is good to have a formal contract or an agreement between the both of you. It is good that the interior designer draws up the contract, and you could probably check it up with your lawyer for the same. Hope this video has helped you understand the process. Please like and subscribe to my channel. If you're thinking what kind of a contract to go with the designer, design plus execution or a turnkey solution, check my next video. Bye.